Hiyuki is the brand new Resonator coming to Wuthering Waves in version 3.3, the long-awaited return to Glacio. After a year since Carlotta released as the first Glacio DPS in the game, we finally have ourselves another. There's been a lot of hype around this character, and we're going to get into a full post-release build guide analysis with demos today. So let's go. Alright guys, welcome back to Wuthering Waifus. I'm your host, Man. Thank you for joining me today, and we're going to cover Hiyuki in a post-release fashion where we can show a build and a quick demo and what some of her best team options, weapon options, echoes, all that stuff might look like now that she has released. If you guys have not followed me on Twitch and liked this video and subscribed on YouTube, please go ahead and do that now. Appreciate y'all so very much. Thank you for supporting my small channel. Okay, so I already went over a lot of this in the pre-release guide that I did, so I'm not gonna like beat a dead horse and go over the same things in super great detail, but I'll just kind of highlight a couple quick things here. So I do feel like I noticed a bit of a difference between using Emerald of Genesis and Frostburn is the first thing I'll say, but for F2P, if that's what you're left with is potentially using Emerald of Genesis, just do that. The only thing I will say is do not, for any reason, you know, I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm gonna say it. Don't for any reason get the new standard sword. It is not good with her. She does not interact with the tune rupture, tune break mechanic at all, at least not any more than any other old Resonator. So she doesn't have any of the she doesn't interact with any of the Lahairoi specific mechanics. So do not pull that sword for her just thinking, oh, this is a new character, it's a new sword, I'll just get that. Actually read what the weapons do, please. So anyways, yeah, this is obviously going to be the best in slot. It is like all of these DPS characters, it's a noticeable upgrade from the standard. It's not as bad as, it's definitely not as egregious as it was with Sigrika, where like she absolutely needs her signature weapon and there's no reason to pull her if you're not getting it. With Hiyuki, it does seem like EOG is going to be totally fine, but make sure you at least slap that on her. You could use like Blazing Brilliance or something like that. That's going to amp, Blazing Brilliance amps Resonance Liberation damage, I believe, which she needs. So, I don't know, it's Resonance skill damage. But it's a nice stat stick. If you have a stat stick, just throw that on her and call it good. Throw that on her and call it good. So, anyways, so yeah, that's all we really need to say about the weapon. Those are the two options, Frostburn or EOG. If you really don't have an Emerald of Genesis sitting around and you don't feel like pulling it, or maybe you're pulling another weapon for somebody else on the standard banner right now, then go with a stat stick that you can find. So, for the echoes, it is like I told you in my pre-release guide, which is a Quiet Snowfall. No reason to look anywhere else. Just go with that. It's, you know, made for her. There is no reason to do any other shenanigans. Just get this set and call it a day, right? The only thing I found is if you're impatient like me and you just want to get the character built, like not to go on too much of a tangent and tirade, but I was very upset last night, as some people on stream saw. I just wanted to build the character. I didn't want to be rushed through the main quest, but getting her material, her collectible material, not the boss mats, but the little flower thingies, and then getting to a place where you can actually go and have the freedom to go and farm this tacit field. You had to, it was locked behind like at least 3 hours of main quest. I mean, unless you're just mashing the skip button, which I don't want to, because it seemed like a fun quest, but I was so fucking frustrated and over it, and I wanted to get her built so I could get this guide out. And so anyway, they need to stop doing that. I've been putting that in every survey for over a year now, and or for a year now, and they still for anyone who says the devs always listen, that's clearly not true. Anywho, so this cat right here, we're gonna want him, which is gonna be the new weekly boss. We're gonna throw him on her. That seems to be the consensus. That's the best deal. And what that's gonna do for you is, or the passive is going to give you 12% Glacio damage bonus and 12% Resonance Liberation damage bonus. So both very important for her kit. And then, yeah. So anyways, 4-3-3-1-1, go, Glacio damage, attack. And in the substats, you want as much crit damage, obviously, in crit rate. You want, you want Resonance Liberation damage bonus, and then you want attack and flat attack in that order if you can, and you want some energy regen in there as well. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to want to focus on Forte Circuit and Liberation first, and then normal and Resonance skill, intro skill, you can leave at 6. Make sure you get the crit rate bonuses in the corners, which are very important if you want to go crit damage for your main stat on your 4-cost Echo. And do keep in mind that the Echo set as well gives you a crit rate bonus during the Liberation sequence. So you don't need as much crit rate as some other resonators. You can probably stop at about 70% crit rate and then focus on crit damage for the rest of it. Otherwise, you're overcapping on crit for, like, you know, a good chunk of her rotation. So, because you're going to be in that Resonance Liberation sequence for the majority of her rotation. So, you know, you might hear other things elsewhere, but I think probably good to leave it at 70. Anyways, so with Hiyuki, again, like, I'm not going to read all of this to you. This video would be 2 hours long if I did. But basically, there's a couple different ways, and this is, you don't really need to know, you only need to know the one way to gain this dedication here. If you were playing her solo, which, like, you do in the quest and whatnot, but unless you're using her solo in domains, then there are different ways that you can build up this dedication, which you need to cast the present self and get into the initial Resonance Liberation and get into her enhanced state. But the long and short of it is, if you're playing in a team and you intro into her, then you are immediately that the stacks are full and you can cast that heavy attack, which is the Frost Splinter Present Self, and that will bring you over here to this guy here. So it becomes available after casting that heavy attack, Frost Splinter Present Self. So when you press the initial liberation, it will deal Glacio damage. And you'll gain the 3 points of Frost Hardened Ear. It'll remove those 300 points of dedication. and Frostheart and enter the Foreclaim state and restore 50 points of Frostheart. And then also it will apply the Foreclaiming Inward Vision will apply 4 stacks of Glacio Chafe on hit. And when you do that, that is when you will gain the 25% crit rate bonus. So again, like that's gonna it's telling you right there, it's basically gonna happen automatically as long as you are just a like 25% competency player. It just kind of happens by doing her rotation. So you're overcapping on crit otherwise if you're building her to, you know, 90% crit rate or something like that. You could probably leave her at 70 or 75. So anyways, once you get into that state, the enhanced state, you're basically going to perform a bunch of normal attack strings and the dodge counter present self, which is press normal attack within a certain period after casting the skill to perform basic attack present self stage 3. Yeah, so the so you're going to basically do 3 attacks, then the dodge, and then 5 attacks. And each time that you at stage 3, 4, and 5, you're going to apply another Glacio Chafe 1 time on hit. So this is where you're getting all the Glacio Chafe from. Essentially, you will perform this string of attacks until you will see that there is another enhanced heavy attack that will be glowing purple, and that will bring you to your the second phase of the ultimate. It's kind of like Imith, right? You have an ultimate in and an ultimate out, which is the nuke. And I have noticed that it's been kind of buggy. Even the animation has been kind of buggy on it. So why don't we go over to TOA and we'll do a demo of, just a quick demo of the team. So this is going to be the best team here, and this is sure to change. This is a certainty that it's going to change probably by next patch. So at any rate, for now, you know, you've got Chisa, who's the only character that can really interact with the Glacio Chafe, and then Lene, who is going to be your best all attribute damage sub DPS. So yeah, this is what the team's going to be. And I've seen already a few different ways floating around to play Hiyuki, and so we're gonna play around with it a little bit, but we're gonna start with Chisa, and immediately a resonance skill. You can hit the echo skill too, and then a string of basics to once you get the bar a little bit past halfway, and then cast the liberation to fill the gauge, and then yeah, it worked that time. This game's been kind of buggy where it hasn't, her attacks have just kind of been stopping halfway, or chainsaw mode. Weird. Anyways, and then with her, hit the liberation and the skill, and then the 3 polychrome leaps and plunge, and then go to Hiyuki, immediately hold charge attack to fill her gauge, and then resonance liberation. And then she's gonna enter her enhanced blue state, hit like 5 basic attacks, dodge, and then a string of basics again, dodge, hit the liberation or the echo skill, and then boom, hold that, and then hold liberation, and you'll enter this thing here. So she basically, like Imith, has 2 liberation. Then go back to Chisa. See, there we go. We lost it again, and then it just kind of pops back up. It's kind of ridiculous here, but whatever. At least we know Lene's functioning correctly. She might be the only one. We've already gotten a compensation rewards for Hiyuki being buggy as all hell. So if you're having problems with her, don't stress. You're not the only one. Even her animations have like frozen on me. So they clearly shot for the moon and they shot too high. But there you go. That's basically how it's gonna look. That unfortunately was not even 2 full rotations. So anyways, yeah, that's what that's gonna look like. Okay, so with that, that's what I have for you on Hiyuki today. Let me know in the comments if there's any more that you want to see or any other directions you would like me to go. You can come join me on stream 6 nights a week, sometimes 7, around midnight Pacific time, West Coast. So all right guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time.